Welcome back, Powerful Mind. How are you guys doing today? We are back and we are better than ever, baby. I've missed you guys so much since last time. And today we have our very first talent manager ever. And also, like, when I say manager, I mean like literally 100 trillion billion different hats that you're about to hear all about. So strap in, it's a journey. But today we're here with the one and only
Chris Handle Biz. You can find me on Instagram at Chris Handle Biz. Super excited to be here today.
Absolutely, and as always, we're gonna run the intro now.
Powerful Mind. I have this Pokemon and Disney stream, and they're hyped. Like, they go crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, thousands of views, like, live.
That's sick.
And
yeah.
But I've been thinking about starting to clip them. I don't clip any of them and post them to IG or anything. You should. You need to. But like my chat goes crazy.
Yeah.
And then I just basically recently hired a bunch of hot girls to go on there and start streaming. So
yeah, that makes sense.
But right now
makes sense.
But yeah. I blew it up just myself, ripping packs and just being super hyper and like. Yeah. I would just open Pokemon and Disney packs live, and it like went viral. The company called me and everything. Like,
no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. On what?
On Whatnot.
On Whatnot?
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it sort of blew up. I mean, I did like 60 grand in 3 months. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Off ripping packs for people. Just they don't like what they get, they buy another one, and then like, you know, you hit that big card, someone will hit $1,000 card. It's like a casino.
Yeah.
It's like you own the casino and you're the dealer.
Wow.
So
okay. That makes sense. So do you keep like an inventory?
Yeah, I got a room
large
full of
inventory.
I got exclusive stuff. I got, you know, little $5 packs. I got cards that are $1,000 a piece. I mean, I got like.
So when that happens with like the packs, well, okay, so initially how much did you have to invest into it to get a good enough inventory to be like, okay?
I mean, off rip, I just invested a few thousand, and you can roll that. But a lot of people don't make it because they don't have the capital that can sit, because they hold your money for 2 to 3 weeks until you hit 1,000 sales.
Okay.
In 3 weeks, the company called me because my stream was booming. They're like, hey, we're going to turn on your auto pay.
Nice.
Or your instant pay, my bad. So after every stream, I get paid out instantly.
Yeah.
So then I started hiring streamers, and I'm like, hey, you get paid instantly. You do the stream, and right after the stream, you're paid.
Right. And so they're like, sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started basically March, and I've done 2,100 sales since March on there already.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then this other viral Pokemon stream hit me up there. They're at like 20K sales since they started, and so they had me start streaming for them as well.
Nice. Yeah. That's super dope. I haven't even heard of that. Whatnot?
Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't even know
it happened by accident.
Have you ever heard of that?
If I tell you a story how that happened, it's just, it doesn't make sense. Like, I started streaming cards by accident. And no, I'm just sort of a nerd at heart. Yeah. I'm just sort of a nerd at heart, but I was playing like Fortnite like heavily.
Okay.
With my uncle.
Yeah.
Like 5 hours a day. And he like disappeared out of nowhere. And like 2 weeks in, maybe 2-3 weeks later, I'm like, yo, where the hell have you been? Like, why haven't we been playing Fortnite? And he's like, oh man, I've been making like $300-400 a day streaming Pokemon cards. And I'm like, well, I like Pokemon.
Yeah.
I like $300-400 a day. You know?
That sounds nice to me.
Yeah, so I just started I went to this little hobby shop by me, which I don't even do business there anymore, but I just said, hey, you got Pokemon cards? Didn't have Pokemon. But he's like, hey, I got these Disney cards. They're sort of like popping. So I hit up my uncle. He's like, yeah, the Disney is starting to take off. They were on chapter 2 at the time, which is like equivalent to like Pokemon's base set 2 from like 2000.
Okay.
And so it's like, it's early enough for you to get, like, it's not too late for you to be a part of that. So what I did was I bought a bunch of boxes of it, and I went online and I gave every pack away. So each box has 24 packs. So I just went online, I went live, and I gave away every pack. So the viewers just started skyrocketing because I'm giving every pack away. Now let me mind you, yeah, I just, hey, like, so on there you can do like this givey thing where they win a giveaway. So I would just keep running giveaways, and that person would win a pack. Someone hit like a $300 card in the first box. So everyone's hype. I'm hype. I don't even know. It was actually a Snow White. Everyone knows who Snow White is.
Yeah.
And you know, they were hype. So it started there, and I was like, okay, this is fun. I had a lot of people. I met, just that day, I probably met 100 new people just from giving packs away.
Wow.
Ran it back the very next day.
Yeah.
Went and grabbed a couple more boxes. Boom. In 3 weeks, I had 1,000 followers. Now, 1,000 followers on there is equivalent to like 10K on Instagram, if not more.
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah.
And those 1,000 followers are customers. Those are people spending money.
Yeah.
Every time you go live, they're notified. 1,000 customers are notified.
Yep.
Now these people just love ripping packs. They love
That's
Pokemon, Disney, Star Wars, Dragon Ball, whatever you name it.
That's a huge thing.
So I'm at like almost 2,500 now in just a few months.
Wow.
There's people that have been streaming on there for years that don't have 300.
Yeah.
So so it just took off.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah, the company called me. They're like started front paging me and started just giving me these like extra perks and boom. That's really it.
Dude, it's just so crazy. Right timing, right?
Yeah,
right timing, right place.
Yeah. Just all from my uncle, like not playing
from
Fortnite.
Not playing
with
Fortnite.
Him. Yeah.
You're like, come on, man.
Yeah. And so yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's really it. So.
That's hilarious. So, what was like one of the first things earlier on when you first dove into the industry? What would you say was your first like adventure in the industry?
Which industry? Because I'm involved in so many.
Right. So I would say just your first venture ever.
My first venture on my own. I'd say on my own. I opened a company called Village Geeks. So I had. I don't know if you're familiar with the rapper Lil Bibby from Chicago, but I was working with him for a long time. This is before the whole Juice WRLD and Kid Leroy thing was going on, but I was side by side with him, part of the management team, helping him with video production, everything you name it, assistant type stuff.
How did that even happen?
I had some friends who they were trying to get into music. Back then, I thought they were awesome, and I had a,
As soon as you started smiling, I already knew. I was like, I already know.
So some independent rappers. All right, so long story short, I grew up in public housing. I was always the only white kid in there, so I had a lot of friends who wanted to rap or talk about their lifestyle, whatnot. And I was the kid who was hustling. I was good at talking, and I was good at like. If they were getting in trouble, I was good at like helping them, speak for them.
Yeah, you're like.
Hey, no, he's okay. He didn't mean it.
You're like the secret weapon. They're like, hold on. Here's our white boy Chris.
yeah. He'll speak for me. And even with like Bibby, like we were doing like video shoots, and like the fire department would pull up, or the police department would pull up. I mean, I'm talking like some cops pulled up one time, and like one of his homies had a warrant for his arrest. I talked the cop out of not arresting his homie. Who had literally looked his name up and found a warrant. And I was able to talk the cop out of arresting him. So I've always had a...
You're like, so what? I'm that guy.
So I've always sort of like represented, talent and helped them and things like that. So fast forward back to the electronic stores. Things were going good, but Bibby was not releasing music. He wasn't doing as much. I was maxing my credit cards out. I was in the early stages. The pay to play, you're investing, you're trying to make a name. I was actually, crazy story, running around with Cole Bennett, true story, before Cole Bennett was Cole Bennett.
Yeah. That's sick.
And I have, the amount of unreleased videos sitting here on this phone is crazy, but I ended up leaving and I got an offer at Verizon, a corporate Verizon. Crazy. I went in there and just killed it. Started making stupid amount of money, like just selling iPhones and service.
Yeah.
Ended up saying, you know what, I can do this. I want to cut the middleman out. I want to cut Verizon out. Ended up opening my own electronics store, but what I did was kept in touch with the Verizon store. I ended up convincing all my former employees to start referring business to me.
Yeah.
So I started making a bunch of money with Village Geeks, my electronics store.
And so did you like do like repairs or did you
Did
sell?
repairs. I did everything. Like if your
Nice.
grandma knew nothing about technology, she would give me her credit card. I'd go to Best Buy, get her a phone, a TV, a surround sound system, and I'd go to her house, hook everything up, and teach her how to use it. And I would charge her.
Yeah.
You know, I charge her per hour just to be there and teach her. And they didn't care because they wanted to learn.
Yeah, because they're like, who else is doing that? No one else is doing that.
Yes, exactly. So I had a ton of success in the tech industry.
Nice.
COVID killed that. Anyone that was in tech during COVID, it just, I mean, everything was coming from out of the country.
Yep.
When Trump put the stop on the borders and all that, and things coming from China, all that. Even me, I was getting like Amazon pallets of electronics, or Sony, or Sony had TVs that returns that I would get those like pallets of them, I'd get like 30 TVs for like a few $1,000.
Wow.
So that same TV you were able to buy at Best Buy for $500, I'd be able to sell to you for $200, and I would still make a good profit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And but COVID killed that whole thing. So I moved to Florida because of the electronic. I was going to open a store here, and COVID happened right when I moved here. Isn't that crazy? COVID.
Wow.
I moved here
way.
to open more locations, and that was it. It was done after that.
So you've only been in Florida for 4 years?
November will be 5.
Oh, wow. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So.
And then, where were you before? Where were you born in?
Northwest Indiana. So, and when I say that, I mean basically Chicago. So, I used to live on State Line. So, State Line was literally, you cross the street, you're in Chicago, you come back, you're in Indiana. And it was all bordered off because criminals would, they'd commit a crime and go jump the border, because back then, like, they couldn't chase them.
Yeah,
and
so they ended up in a different state,
they would have to they ended up like bordering it off. So that's how close I was to Chicago.
Yeah.
But I lived everywhere. I grew up in foster care, group homes, everything you name. So I went to like 30 different schools.
Wow.
So that's where my gift of talking came into play, because I was able to adapt everywhere I go. I went to the all-white schools with the rich kids. I went to, the poor minority schools. I went to, I ended up seeing like everyone's lifestyle and, all the different, even not just that, the different styles, the punk rock kids, the preps, the the urban, people wearing South Pole Echo, all that, So yeah,
that's super cool. And so once COVID happened and that shifted everything, and you were in the entertainment industry, left that, went to the technology industry, and then you shifted back to the entertainment industry.
Yeah. So I always wanted to get back into the entertainment industry, but I wanted to do it a lot differently.
Okay.
I didn't want to be broke doing it. I always told myself, I was like, okay, I loved it. It was my passion, but I got to do it differently. I can't be just spending my rent money to take a flight here to network and make things happen. But so I said, let me get straight first.
Yep.
Once I get straight, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm good at. I know what I can do for people. I still had really good connections at the time.
Right.
Bibby was signed to Sony RCA, Kimosabi, with Dr. Luke. So like I had, off working with him, I had some pretty good relationships, some pretty good phone numbers. Found this kid, Envy, who to this day, I actually texted him. It actually bothers me that I'm still not dropping music with him, but this kid is so damn talented, it's crazy. The songs he writes is just amazing. Super poppy, but he also can do hip hop. But he's just super talented. Yeah. I actually texted him the other day and was like, "Yo, you need to drop some pop songs, whether I'm involved or not. Like, you need to drop some music."
That's how you know it's real, whether I'm involved or not.
Like, you need to drop some music.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I started working with him.
Nice.
And my fiance we're chilling during COVID, and she's like binge watching Siesta Key. You're familiar with Siesta Key? She's like, "Oh, you need to go work with Brandon." And I was like, "Who's Brandon?" And she shows me Brandon. I think I might have like joked about him or made a joke about him, but I ended up like actually like diving. I ended up getting a little bit invested in the show, like watching the show. Yeah. I was like, all right, he's pretty dope. He might just need, you know, someone
The
good
right
around him, you know?
direction, guidance, you know.
Yeah, so what, I think Envy did an amazing song, which you guys got to hear the song. It's called Dancing in the Moonlight.
Okay.
We ended up featuring Brandon, BG, on it, and he went absolutely nuts on that song. One of his best verses, probably one of his most streamed songs to date, I would imagine. And yeah, the rest is history. Ended up locking in with him, negotiating, you know, his MTV deal.
Right.
Me and him just went on the road like crazy.
Yeah. Did you go on the road with him when he just went on the road?
Not recently. So we were on the road together heavy the first couple of years. I just had a daughter. I have a 1-year-old daughter now.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. I see her all the time. She's
So
cute. Yeah.
I was traveling so much that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start staying home. And I'm sure we'll get to it, but I was with the label I left, and I was working a lot harder then. I work a lot smarter now, and that's something I stress to people. Work smart, not hard, because time is your best friend.
Yeah.
It's the most valuable thing. Don't let people waste your time. So BG was, I mean, he's awesome. He's such a great guy, and he introduced me to so many people that I was able to very fast start making 6 figures off of the entertainment industry, off reality TV, very fast, just off locking in with him, and then networking from that deal.
Absolutely.
To Floribama, to, you know, people on Netflix, HBO, whatnot. So, you know, today alone, I talked to 3 different reality TV stars from 3 different shows today. Yeah. And, you know, we're, you know, locking in business, things like that. So that's where it all started. But
is being that. So then you picked him up as his manager, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've been together for 4 years now. Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah.
And so picking up with Brandon, you said you got all these different connections from it as well. So from there, because what made you be like, let me be a manager and manage people like that? Because that alone is a big task. Like
it's tough, and I don't go for what you love to do.
Yeah.
But I like that is a full-time job. It doesn't stop. It's 80 hours a week if need be. And you can always be doing more. Like, shoot, I could be doing more right now. But it is a very time-consuming thing, and you have to be in a certain place in your life
to be able to do it successfully.
Don't, and again, I don't, never on the negative side, I don't tell people not to do something, because you should always do what you want, but make sure you're in a good position before you go and do something like that. I'm all about the risks. My whole life has been a risk. I preach risk to people. Get out there and just do it. Don't talk about it, do it. But from where I was then, like with Bibby, I then knew where I needed to be in order to be successful for BG. So you have to, like, really, you know, you have to be in a good place in your life. Right. Because that person's banking on you. BG's banking on you. But also it goes both ways. I worked with a lot of lazy people. Yeah. And a manager and an artist, your energy and your work ethic has to match, or it's just not going to work. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how much the manager works. If it's not equal, it's not going to work. It worked out very well with him because he was ready to work. He listened to me. Another thing is you got to be able to listen, you know. But don't quit your 9-to-5 that's paying your rent to do something that's going to put you in a worse hole, and then you're making bad decisions based on that desperate place you're in.
That desperate place, the being in a state of desperation, in a state of literally life or death, how am I going to pay my bills, how am I going to eat? Yeah. That can make you literally, like, your whole entire sense of making decisions go into the hole.
Absolutely.
And then it just, that cycle continues.
To make decisions that make you look bad, ruin your reputation. You could be really stressed out and not really thinking or working as hard. I mean, there's so many things that really go into it. Yeah. So you just got to be a good place in your life to be able to help someone else. You can, and that goes for everything in life. It's not just being a manager for an artist or a TV star. Right. It's everything in life. If you're not in a good position in your life, let's say you're a mom, but you know, you're struggling financially or you're doing this, like you can never really be the best parent that you're capable of when you have other things holding you down and holding your mind down.
Right.
You have to, you know, you get, and even in a relationship, you got to be happy with yourself to be able to make someone else happy and do for others. So
yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like you said, you're, as being a manager, you really do bank on each other. And so, as a new manager, what struggles did you experience? Because that was a new role, quote unquote, new hat that you're putting on. How did you also, struggles, what were they in the beginning? Because obviously it's a process and you have to trust the process and there's ups and downs. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
So what were some of those struggles?
So in the beginning, like in the early days, it was just getting, when you don't have a name, the toughest thing is building a name and letting people know who you are. With someone like BG, he hit me with certain news and obstacles that I didn't know were a thing at the time. So I thought things were going to be a little bit more smooth sailing with him. But we worked through them and actually, you know, it was great.
Yeah.
I think it made us closer. Like it really, I ended up in the beginning when I thought I was going to be dealing on the more business side, I ended up dealing with a lot of things on the personal side. But I wouldn't take that back for nothing. I think that really made us a lot closer, and the bond is, I mean, that is my brother for life. Like I'd take a bullet for him. So
yeah, no, absolutely. What made you think and feel at the time that going through those struggles were going to be worth it?
I knew his potential and I knew what he had going on, and I mean, MTV loved him. They still do, not loved. He was a great employee. So, and no disrespect to any other cast members, but like he showed up to work every day, never late, did whatever he was told, and he didn't argue. He never complained, and he's still like that. I mean, he's just, you know, like he'll get it done in whatever way, and he doesn't complain about it. Whatever has to be done, he's just like, whatever, it's got to be. That's how I am as a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't nag or bring myself down because of a situation I'm in. You know, okay, what's the solution? Okay, there's a solution to everything. Let's just fix it. Let's start now. Let's not just sit here and cry about it for 3 days. Like, let's just get to it now. What's the solution? All right, here's what we're going to do. You form a plan and you fix it. You know, there's a solution to everything. So, again, this is just how I felt about him. And, you know, I'm not saying all of them were hard workers. They put together a great show. But something I found about him was just like if you told him to do something, he just did it. And those are the type of people that, you know, really succeed in life. Like they're willing to listen, learn, and do whatever it takes to be great. Yeah. You know, or get to the next step, whatever.
No, absolutely. And I actually really agree with that, because even me personally, like I've been having these talks like with my boyfriend, like with my family, how I'm almost at the point where I think the next year I'm going to need a manager. I'm going to need someone who's like, okay, this is how we're going to, this is the next step. Like, this is what we're going to do to like get there. Because I know, I see where I'm at. I see what I'm doing. I know where I'm at.
And you know where you're headed or where you want to head.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's just like, okay, at this point, I am humble enough to say, I'm going to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I don't know what's next to make this even better. I want to be able to have someone who knows that and can make it more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I completely understand that of being like, yes, I will do it. Like, you know, like we're gonna figure it out together. So once you started managing Brandon and you got into a nice rhythm of that and whatnot, and you found success in it, you also have another artist that you manage currently, correct?
No. So I have a producer I've been managing, Chase, who. He's got a ton of Billboard hits already with like Young Boy. He's got music with Kodak. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I've wanted like producers. I've wanted to start managing producers for a long time. I felt like, hey, this is a little bit easier than an artist to break out because I just need to get the beats in the right hands of certain artists. I don't have to blow this one artist up, because with a producer, you can work with 100 artists and you're a successful producer. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Versus an artist, sort of solo. You're trying to blow up solo.
Yeah.
And those features help, but an artist needs a producer to succeed. So all these already successful artists, they need a dope producer. And it doesn't have to be a big name or anything, but they need beats.
Just as long as it's like
he's
a great
super
quality.
talented and he's a great dude. Anyone I work with, they all have that same, they're all down to earth, humble.
Yeah.
They're willing to work, listen. And he does, you know, he helps me with other business as well, the car business, if I need him to take a car to Miami, like he's on it. So, yeah, I've been working with him now, not super long, but yeah, at least a few months, I'd say. At least, yeah, maybe a little bit more than a few months.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so.
Nice. So, what made you decide to, because you already in that, you already knew like that was your passion, right? When you were working in tech, you already knew that you were going to end up swinging back to the entertainment industry, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what made you decide to be in the position of manager and not in the position of let me be in front, let me take the lead?
I don't know. I was president of STB Entertainment for a while. I don't know if you're familiar with the label out of Tampa that they signed. I think I don't know their current roster, but it's like Woodboy G.
Okay.
I think I might have seen like the game, a couple other people, but they had like ITS Hab. BG was signed to them. I got BG a deal with them as well.
Right.
But I was the president over there, so I've done everything from management to the executive side to video production. So I was directing and producing videos in the beginning too. That's actually how I met Bibby. I don't know if I said that.
Okay.
So that's how I met.
That makes sense. I was like, wait.
I was working, with a big videographer, and so I started in production.
Okay.
Then went into management.
Right.
And then, or maybe they were sort of simultaneous.
Okay. Yeah.
Did a little bit on the exec side. When the other businesses really succeeded, and this is what a lot of artists do, you know, music is a stepping stone, and what it should be is like, you know, a lot of these artists make a lot of money in music and they invest it to, you know, to have generational wealth for their families. So that's really what I did, like with the car business. So we started, hey, what's next? Like, okay, we're making money off this, but this isn't going to be for everything, because, you know, we're not making as much money as we were making 2 years ago. And in a year from now, we might be making more than we've ever made. Yeah. But you really got to just find, you know, what's that next thing. So I think, you know, all in all, like, as far as, I guess to answer your question, being in front is awesome. It's awesome, but it's a lot of work, and it's, again, the music industry is, and not just music, but TV, all that, it just never stops.
It's very next. So what's next?
Yes, yeah, and you got to put in a lot of time, and you gotta really want it, and and you got to invest a lot of time, money, everything you name, and just blood, sweat, and tears, crying, laughing.
Ups, downs,
You name, the ups and downs are crazy, roller coaster, and that's for anybody, whether you're making no money off of it or you're making millions off of it. They're still going through this, you know, same thing. So
absolutely.
Again, it comes back to me wanting to really just work smart and not hard, and trying to free up my time, figuring out what makes the most, like getting the most dollars for your hour. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Bang for your buck.
Correct. Yeah. So, you know, I started figuring out other ways, like, okay, like, these cars are cool. You rent them out. They're gone. I can go play Fortnite. I got paid, and they extend the rentals. I get paid again. I'm still at home playing Fortnite. Yeah. Things like that. You know? And then I started leveraging it too. You know, with the celebrities. You know, they love cars.
I love that. Yeah.
They love driving nice cars. Yeah. So.
I literally, there's a music video that I know an artist is trying to do, and they need a car. Yeah. You know?
That works.
So now I tell them. Like, now I know where to go.
Come to me. I got everything you name, from C-Classes to Lambos to GLEs to Escalades. I mean, so, I mean, I have a fleet of over 60 cars between me and
Crazy.
partners.
Yeah.
So.
That's insane. And so it's just, I think the very most interesting to me about all of this is just how many different hats you've worn and how many different lives you've lived in your careers.
I'm an old soul, that's facts.
So I guess one of the most things that I'm curious about is, did you premeditate when you were switching hats, or have you just been so fluent with whatever you're doing? And how did you recognize the need for each thing when it presented itself?
If you came to me with an idea right now and this light bulb lights up in my head, then I'm going for it. I'm going to say, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about it. There's also with my businesses, they're all niche.
Yeah.
Credit repair, everyone needs credit repair. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a millionaire, you got some negatives on your credit. It doesn't matter who you are. Your credit can always be better. So, car rentals. We're in Florida. It is the most vacation to state. You need rentals. So I gear myself towards. And then with the Pokemon and Disney, all that, well.
That was just insane. That was a left field. I don't know. That was crazy.
Yeah, like you got to understand, people have hobbies and they love their hobbies, and it's not a cheap hobby. And it's fun. I mean, it really is fun. You know, I got this Disney pack in my. Right here. I got, every time I use this Charizard credit card, everyone's like, oh my God, I love your card. I love your card. Everywhere. Chick-fil-A, it doesn't matter where you're at. Oh my God, I love your card. Like, I've never seen one of these. But so it like excites people. It's nostalgic. It I have people that are on my stream, brand new on my stream every day, and they're just excited. Oh my God, I remember that card from when I was a kid. Or I want to know what's in that pack. Let me buy that pack, you know? So I create like, the businesses I get into, it's people need or really want. I mean, I guess people don't need the Pokemon. Well, maybe they might. Some of these guys, they really need it. Actually, it's it's their fix. It's what they like to do. So, I just like if someone came. I'm working on like 3 new businesses right now that I just learned about in the last week. If it makes sense, if it makes sense to me in my head, I start doing the numbers real fast. And then I start thinking about how we can scale it. And I'm all in. Yeah. I start calling partners, investors, my connections, you know, and hey, I got this idea. We need to put some money into it, and boom, we roll.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now that we're talking about like all the success and all these different things that you've had, where did you fail?
Oh, we'll be here for a long time if we talk failures.
But I love that. I love that because you have so much success, and it's.
I've had some failures this year. I had failures last year. I had failures my whole life. Shit, my parents set me up for failure. I mean, nothing succeeds, and I'll tell you. You gotta try 10 things for one thing to work. I'll tell you that right now. I've tried a lot of things. You start to learn what's worked, but you only really know because you're trying. You know, it's a numbers game for me. But yeah, where did I fail? Oh my gosh. You know, you make decisions. You know, you make bad decisions, but you learn. Everything's a learning, trials and tribulations. And, you know, damn, I could have did that better. Or, you know, I should have did this better. I should have did this like this. I wouldn't be in this position. But yeah, I mean, no matter what it is, starting a new business is tough. It's not easy.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing at all.
And you go through it. You take L's. I think this is something I stress to people like crazy. You're gonna take L's over and over and over, but the people who you see who have really succeeded, there's only one difference. They didn't quit. Most people take that first L, they're done. Most people then, or if they make it past that first L and they get to the second L, they're done. Most people won't get to a third L, but the third L is the strikeout. They're done. That's it. They took 3 L's. I've taken crazy losses.
What has been one of the most memorable struggles that you had to overcome?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like that. In business or my personal life?
Both, because you're talking about all the business and everything, but at the same time, people who don't do what you do or aren't in this industry and don't like have that type of passion and have their own business to begin with, don't understand that like you also are a human at the same time. You do have a personal life. You do have, you
Yeah,
know, family. You do have those struggles that everybody has. But at the same time, you're still making it happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, what differentiates that? So what has been one of those most memorable struggles that you had to really overcome?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, if we go back to me I mean, my whole life was a struggle. I mean,
Yeah,
like with
even your beginning when you were saying.
yeah, mom and dad were addicted to drugs, gangbangers. I've really been on my own my whole life, and it took so long. I'll tell you what really was the biggest struggle. At the age of 12, I was working full time, but I became a ward of the state at like 13, and one of the biggest struggles was that waiting period to get to where I was 18 and to really, I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew I could do something great, and I wanted to be successful, and I knew everything I wanted, but that, oh my gosh, those years were tough. Foster home to foster home, group home to group home. I used to sit back and just really be like, oh, I need this time to pass. I need 2 years to go by, which is crazy because I'm a 13-year-old, 14-year-old talking about skipping time. I want to be 16. I want to be 18. I don't care if I lose those years and I don't get to be a teenager or be a kid. I just needed time to pass, really. And that was always a struggle for me. I went through hell growing up. Hell. Just like I said, I went to 5 elementary schools, 4 middle schools, 4 high schools.
That alone is insane. And even just your beginning.
I was living with random people. Like, I'd get picked up by a caseworker and taken to some random house with random people. Some of them barely even fed me. Like, you know, I used to starve. Like, so I guess my biggest struggle was really just my childhood and getting through that and time passing. Like I said, I was just waiting for time to pass. And, you know, losing my mom in high school and, you know, my dad's been in and out of prison my whole life. They really set me back, like my whole family. Like, I feel like my whole life I've been playing catch up.
Right.
You know, and and not to compare anyone's situation, but I had friends who, you know, and when they were 16 years old, their parents purchased them, you know, one of the, you know, $50,000 car cash, and I'm over here like struggling to buy a car for $1,000 or make payments on a car that's like $4,000, you know. So I seen this really cool YouTube video one time where it's like, and you might have seen it too, it was viral, and it was like, it was this gym coach that he started asking everyone questions, and then if they answered the question, they would get to step forward. And they were like, you're going to win the race a lot sooner because look at the advantage you had growing up. Those guys who are in the back had nothing. So that was my biggest struggle, just having nothing, and having to build everything up. I didn't get to play sports. I had to work. I didn't get to really go to college and, like, you know, go live at a frat or just whatever, like, you know, just what you would consider normal, you know, in the day and age, what any kid would want. So, I guess that really, I never thought about that. That was probably it, just, you know, getting through my childhood and my teen years all the way up to an adult, so.
And so how has having a child changed your perspective on life, and B, what was the challenge there trying to continue to run all these businesses and invest in everything that you do while also being a father now?
Yes, so I actually have 2 kids, and one's 13 and one's 1, big age gap. Had a kid when I was 19, had to skip my 20s, had a kid at 31. Way different. Way different. Mindset, when you're 19, you think you know everything. And, you know, your peers used to tell you think you know everything. You'd be like thinking in your head, like, no, I don't know everything, but I know this is right. Much more mature now. Still make mistakes. Still not the best man I could be, but I believe that I'm a much better father now than I was when I was 19, 1,000%.
I mean, naturally so.
Financially, like you're much older, you make better decisions, you're more mature. Like, I'm not thinking about going to hang out with my buddies and go get, you know, messed up. Like, I barely drink. I I'm not in the club anymore, you know, so, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but again, that's part of the thing. I'm saying work smart, not hard, because your time, you want to give, the time you are giving up, you don't want to give it up to Papa John's. You'd rather give it up to your daughter, you know what I'm saying? Like, or I'm just saying hypothetically, whatever you do for a living, it could be anything, but I'd rather be giving my hours to my daughters versus, you know, this 9 to 5 that's slaving me for 12 hours a day. Like,
absolutely.
And that's anyone, but you know, everyone's different. It takes time to get to that point. And I was at that point when I was 19 with my other daughter. I was working like crazy. Still immature mindset. And, you know, you grow, you know, they say time heals all. That's a true statement. And, you know, every year you grow up, you really do grow up. You think things, well, not everyone, because there's, you know,
idiots.
Yeah, there's people like my father who, you know, in his 40s, 50s, still making terrible decisions. So, you know, you learn. Hopefully you live and you learn, you know. You should be growing. Everyone should be growing and making better decisions as they get older.
Right, absolutely. And so as you've gone through all these different paths, what has your support system looked like?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I've had that's another thing. So I don't sit there
a bunch of different components.
Yeah, I don't sit there and say self-made. Some people might, and I will say, I've gone through the ringer and I've done things on my own, but I've had a lot of good people behind me. So actually today, one of the biggest people in my life, my uncle, today's his birthday, so happy birthday to my Uncle Brian.
Shout out Uncle Brian.
Uncle Brian, happy birthday. He was a huge influence. This guy, when I was in the hood, and all those people that I was hanging with on a daily basis, they're all dead or in jail. He really saved my life, and I've expressed that to him. He really saved my life. He used to pick me up every Friday, and let me mind you, I'm like 12, 13. He's like 20, so a 20-year-old doesn't want to like babysit. He wants to be out with his 20-year-old friends. And I mean, he used to pick me up every weekend and take me out of the hood to where he was living, and I started meeting new people, seeing new lifestyles, so I had to see that there was a better life. Those other, my homies in there, they didn't see a better life. They didn't see that good influence. That's when I started meeting like my little rich friends and like and things like that. I started seeing like, damn, like I love like my friends. I'd go to like my friend's house and they're living in a mansion and I'm like piss poor in public housing. You start seeing things and like, that's what I want. I want, you know. And then but yeah, he was huge. He got custody of me at the age of 21 and I was 13.
Wow.
But the process was crazy. He was going to court fighting for me. I was in a foster home. They only wanted me in the foster home. My foster parents just wanted the check. It was a crazy ordeal. So still the same uncle that got me into streaming who I was playing Fortnite with every day. Very close with him, love him to death. But he really saved my life. That was my mom's brother. And both his siblings passed away, which was my mom and my other uncle. And yeah, so I've had some good supports. I've had friends' parents let me live with them, take me on my first vacations.
Wow, yeah.
So many things. So I had a really good support system. So I don't always like the word self-made because I had people that, my friend's dad co-signed for my first car. And like, I wasn't his son. Like he didn't know me, but he knew my potential, and you know, I was trying to be the best kid back then. I was a lot mature for my age back then. Compared to like his son was wilding out, and that's my boy. I love him. I love my brother, but you know, he grew up very differently. So
absolutely. That's super dope. And I figured you would have like an interesting kind of support system based off of what you just told me about.
And most importantly too, and I don't mean to cut you off, but my fiance, we've been together 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And she has been, I've put her through hell. So I'm going to say this on camera. I'm sorry. But no, I love her to death and we're good. We're in a great place. And we have 2 kids together, but she used to put gas in my car back in the day. And like when I had nothing, she'd feed me. I used to sneak in her house and sleep. But she's done so much for me. Her parents have done so much for me that, like, you know, I told her, you know, like, hey, we're gonna be straight one day. I'm gonna give you, you know, I'm gonna give you everything. So
what was the moment that you had when you did feel like that, where that switched and you were able to feel more like the man, the provider, instead of her helping you? You were able to actually start taking care of her financially a little bit more.
Well, I was always good. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I was paying her cell phone bill at like 16.
Right.
So I was always making money, but I wasn't always making good decisions with money.
Gotcha. Okay.
When you have nothing, and you see this a lot. So you can't blame people that spend their money. A lot of the people that get money at one time and a lot of money that never seen money, they want to spend it because they never had it.
They've never had it. Yeah, absolutely.
So I was at a point where, like, I was making money. Like, we're going on vacations. I was spending my last dollars to go on vacations in my early 20s.
No way. Okay.
Yeah, but we were staying with their parents, or most of the time I've had my own place, but just, you know, you make the decisions. I was just making bad decisions with money, but she always held it down. But I really every year have leveled up. There's never been a year I made less money than the last year.
Nice.
And every year I'm like, damn, I did great last year. Like, how am I?
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna top this.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know. It just always ends up like, damn, I'm about to top it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to, like, I didn't know how I was gonna do better than last year, and I'm already pacing to do better. And I just don't really. I never know when the year starts what I'm gonna do to that. It just
happens.
Yeah, it just happens. So
yeah. What are some of? Are there certain like mantras or just certain things that you like to live your life by?
Yeah, work smart, not hard.
When was, like, because, you know, you said that a lot.
I started learning how to make money in way less time, make larger chunks using way less time.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I won't do things for, like, you know, like, humbly speaking, like, if you hit me up, like, and you had something for me where I can make $50 and it's going to take me 2 hours, I'm not doing it. Or I'm not even doing it. Actually, I probably won't do it for an hour.
Yeah.
To be honest. So that's when I started learning that you can work smart. You can be smart about your job. And where we are at today in life versus your parents, or not your parents, just hypothetically speaking, they always told you to work hard. Work hard in school, go to college, work hard in college, get a degree, get out, work hard, work till you're 65, get a pension, retire.
Yeah.
No, not happening. Also, most people don't even live to 65, so you're but I'm about to work my ass off for all these years and then might not even make it to the point I'm retired. You know, like, no, we got to figure something out now. We got to figure it out. I gotta retire in my 40s. I'm trying to chill.
Yeah,
like,
no,
you know,
literally.
So,
at this point.
Yeah.
My goodness. Like, we were literally just talking about that. I'm 22, and I'm like, boy, when is this gonna end?
But now you don't gotta figure anything out. I used to think I used to think I had to figure things out at 22. You don't, though. Again, when you're my age, you're probably going to be doing something you had no idea you'd be doing.
I agree with that, actually.
Like you're going to be like, you couldn't tell me 10 years ago I'd be renting out cars.
Yeah.
I might lie. I always wanted to rent out cars because when I was with Bibby, we used to rent cars, and I would always be like, I want to get in that business. But yeah, I mean, you just never know. I never knew I'd be streaming Pokemon cards and Disney. Like,
that's like a random side.
Never knew I'd be helping people fix their credit.
Yeah. Your life, as what you've described to me, just sounds like a bunch of side quests.
Yeah, exactly.
You just complete a bunch of random missions.
Today I was working on something totally different, like that has nothing to do with any of the stuff we talked about.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, you know, life. I heard it on, it's actually on one of Wale's songs, but he says, you know, life, I think Jerry Seinfeld's in one of the, I think the outro, and it's like, you never really know, like you plan, you make a plan, and then, you know, God laughs at you. Like, it's just not what it is. You know, I was making so much money in the tech industry that I thought that's what I'd end up doing forever. I thought I'd have 20 stores now, or just like, I don't know, a director of operations for Verizon. I don't know. I never knew I'd meet BG and be negotiating with MTV's law department, like, you know, like.
And so, okay, here's another thing too about all this too, because I kind of, the way that I feel about everything that I've been doing, because again, 22, podcast, company, you know, I also sell Medicare right now. I used to do private health insurance. Like, I used to be a restaurant manager. Like, no, you're
Did I mess that up?
Okay.
I forgot that was even on me.
Right. It feels nice, right? You like forget. But I used to manage restaurants for a few years, like two different locations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, already at 22, I'm already, like what you said about life, I already know, because I've already experienced that, like a little bit, you know, at 22. And sometimes I feel like, especially like doing this, I'm like, how did I do this? Who's letting me do this? I don't know what I'm doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially like, you know, doing all this, obviously it's your first time doing anything. So for you, because you're doing a bunch of like things and it's your first time doing these things, what is your headspace going into things that you've never done, that you don't have any experience doing? Like, for example, negotiating deals with MTV. Like, I feel like that's not like a small task. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not like a little
But
whatever.
I was always, at that point, I was already like a really good salesman. I won all these awards with AT&T and Verizon. I could sell sand to a beach. I mean, if you need someone to speak for you, like, they call me. Like, that's, you know, that's where I get my nickname, Chris Handle Biz. Like, if you need your business handled, like, I get called. And I don't get called by just people that I'm locked in with. I get calls from, I might get a call from someone in LA right now that says, hey, Chris, I got a deal that, you know, is on the table. Can you just close it for me? Can you just handle it and I'll cut you in? And then I don't hear from them for months, or, you know, things like that. Like, so, I had leverage. So when I first met BG, he's like, he agreed, like, we had this meeting at Daiquiri Deck in Sarasota. This is a crazy story.
Jeez.
We're doing pickleback shots. We had just did Dancing in the Moonlight. Everything's great. I'm like, I'm about to lock this dude in. We're going to make great music. We're going to keep the acting going, the modeling, everything. He's a jack of all trades. He's like, all right, we're going to do this, but I got to tell you one thing. He's like, I got a kid on the way. Nobody in the world knew this. I had just had my first, like, sit down with him. And I'm like, I'm like, oh, you know, not that, you know, and I don't mean that my face like that. I don't mean like in a bad way, because first of all, Quincy is a blessing and he's amazing.
Absolutely.
I just more so meant like, I had this thought where like we were going to be doing something else, and now I'm going to be dealing with baby mama drama. So I'll be honest, he was in a tough place. I mean, he was in a really, really tough place because he was with Camilla at the time. And him and Camilla were going strong, and she's a dope girl, you know, shout out Camilla. And you know, I mean, the Usher Raymond story, he's having a baby by a girl he barely even knew. And I had to break the news to MTV, but, you know, not to sound like greedy or anything, but I'm like, okay, well, there's some positives to this. I'm like, we could capitalize off this. I'm like, let me hit up MTV. We're not going to tell them with who, when, where, why. We're not going to tell them nothing until we get paid. They're going to love this. MTV's going to love this because they love drama, and it's a reality TV drama series. And so I use that to my leverage. I used, you know, Quincy to get him paid. You know, more, and but he brought a new storyline, so it made sense, and but it was just like I had to go do. Actually, I came down here. It was my first time in Port Charlotte.
Wow, is this your second time?
No, but came to Port Charlotte, and I actually I did the DNA test.
Oh, nice.
I swabbed the baby mama, I swabbed the kid,
Jeez,
and
man.
I swabbed BG and sent it in.
No way. There's no way.
So I did the whole paternity test.
Oh my God. You
came
are
back.
the father.
Yeah, I was Maury. Then I'm over here thinking we're about to hit the studio. I'm over here doing DNA tests. It was wild.
Insane.
But as a manager, a personal manager, like.
It's okay. It was just a stop on an exit on the highway, and you got back on. It's okay.
It was a lot. We went through some things, and he turned his, and then the reunion, he had to come out to the world live on TV and tell the world what he did, and it was, we were really going through it. So, I felt bad for him, but he persevered. He's a good dude. He, made a mistake. We all make mistakes, but
Absolutely.
Quincy wasn't a mistake though.
No, absolutely not.
Quincy's a blessing.
Never that.
So.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's insane. Wow, you just keep saying all these random things.
Yeah, like I could,
But I actually really do like that though, because I'm like that too, where I don't like to just do one thing and that's it. You know? I like to be diverse. I like I like to be able to do everything and any opportunity that might come my way that I feel like would fit me in some way, shape, or form. Like, for example, like I've acted in some music videos before. I do modeling as well. I have the podcast. Like, I really try to make sure I have some type of portfolio, because I know one day I'm going to meet the right person, have the right conversation, or the right opportunity is going to come, and I have enough to back me to be like, this is everything that I know I'm capable of.
They're going to be like, I need you
do.
for this one right here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like your Pokemon cards. You're like, which one are we using?
Yeah.
That's super dope. Do you have any, I know that you kind of mentioned you have some cool things you want to talk about that are upcoming, you're working on, or anything particular in mind?
Yeah, well, I'm working on a lot of things.
Right.
But, I'm expanding the business, so we're not just going to be doing car rentals anymore, but we'll be doing jet ski and golf carts up north. But, yeah, that's pretty exciting. Working on some new music with BG. We're gonna be hitting that hard. We're gonna be dropping like crazy. We took a little bit of time off. He's been really working on his dispensary, Siesta G.
Yeah, that's another thing.
He's killing it. Siesta G's killing it. So shout out them over there. But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm a family man. I chill at home. I only really come out if I'm getting paid. Or I'm out here promoting myself or my business and.
Yeah.
But working. I got a fingers crossed, but about to be announcing a nice concert, a decent budget concert. It'll be country. Okay. But we're doing that Labor Day weekend, so look out for that.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm sort of dabbling in it. A little bit of everything. You have to. If you meet someone who's a millionaire, they don't have one income.
Correct.
So. You got to make sure you have multiple incomes, no matter what. And it doesn't matter if one makes you $1, one makes you $100. It adds up. It adds up fast. If you got this place giving you $100 a week, that place is giving you $1,000. It don't matter. You're getting you're getting it from multiple places. So
no, absolutely. And what made you say yes to coming on here?
I think because I seen Danny and Dredge, and I was like, all right, and then it was called Powerful Mind, so the name of it was like, okay, I understood that.
Fire, right?
Yeah, Powerful Mind. I was like, okay, so they're probably talking about, the powerful mind.
Yeah.
So
like what it takes.
But yeah, I need to be honest, I was like, okay, let me get out there and just see what they're about, talk about some business and, I'm always down to network. Networking's key.
Absolutely.
It's key for a lot of people's success. So.
No, it really is. And we literally talked about that off camera a little bit too, like about how important it is, like who you know.
All about who you know. Nothing else matters. You can know nothing and meet the right person and they'll teach you everything you need to know and they'll change your life. I mean.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And so what do the next steps kind of look like for you, other than, dropping all that music, like you said, but for you personally? Because, obviously you've managed, BG and the producer and everything, but for you personally?
Me personally? What's next?
What are some goals, that you have?
I'm trying to get into my first $1 million house.
Nice.
I'm working on that right as we speak.
Hey. PA? Was that that phone call?
No, it's a little up north, but you know, I'm just working on leveling up and really expanding my business, making sure my family's in a dope place. I'm, you know, my philosophy, I guess, to go back what you asked earlier, but I wanted to make sure my daughters never went through what I went through. And I don't care if they become spoiled brats. I used to never understand that. Like, but now I understand that. I'd much rather my daughter be a spoiled brat than go through what I went through.
Right.
You know what? I don't care, you know? Yeah. So I'm just...
And that's some real talk.
I'm just really trying to take care of the family and retire early. That's it. And I'm going to I'll keep taking phone calls until I'm at that point. So.
And do you have any like hidden gems or any specific things, like pieces of advice that you feel like if you would have wanted someone to tell you when you were trying to make it happen?
Yeah, don't quit. Yeah, just don't quit. Whatever you're doing, don't quit. I quit a couple times and I regretted it. I don't regret anything, but I was in some situations where I shouldn't have quit.
Really?
And yeah, just don't quit. That's how you win.
Do you care to elaborate on a situation where you quit?
I guess just like really just like certain businesses that I sort of should have kept doing. I guess nothing specific. I mean, yeah, there's one. I don't know if I really want to, you know, say it, but I could be up like 10 mil right now. Yeah, at least. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be up at least. I was in the position and I had the power, and something ended up going through and succeeding, but I walked away from it early.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know.
Is that where that don't quit comes into play too?
Don't quit, guys. You're right there. You're right there.
Yeah.
It's right there in front of your face. Yeah, and even if like when you quit, you just never know if you were gonna win or not. You never gave yourself that chance to know because you gave up. And that's really the difference between the people that do win. You know, they never quit. So that's really my thing. Like, I've had a lot of partners, you know, get into new things or try something out, and it's not working it's not supposed to work in the beginning.
Right.
Your company is not supposed to be in green in the first year. It's not supposed to be green in the second year. I mean, companies like Netflix, YouTube, and all those, they didn't pop off in the first year. Like these are companies that like they blew up in year 5 to 10. Most companies, like, if you keep doing what you're doing for 10 years, you're probably going to pop. Like, there's a very high, if you made it 10 years, you're probably going to blow.
Right.
But most people won't give themselves that time. Yeah. They give up, you know?
And what would you say to somebody who, when you're saying, okay, don't quit, but what if somebody can't see an end goal or can't see anything? How do you not quit when you can't see something that you're working for?
Maybe, that's tough. I mean, you gotta want it first and foremost. But yeah, if you don't see an end goal, then you probably shouldn't be doing it to begin with. So
like, and I kind of mean like along the journey, sometimes that like your vision can slip, right?
Yeah.
Your vision and what you see.
Well, you get in a position. I wanted to quit plenty of times, and if I would have quit, I would not be living as. If I quit this car rental biz, the amount of times those aren't easy L's. You take a loss in the car rental biz, like when I say taking losses, I mean I'm saying like $100,000 car gone, and now you're in debt $2,000 a month, and now you're taking profit from another car to pay for that car, and now you're out 2 cars, and now you're just, I mean, I could have quit that, and I know a lot of people in that business that quit, but I've been doing it for 4 years, and oh my gosh, I could have quit. I took a few L's this year. I could have quit. Said F this. I'm out. Like I'm done. But But you have months where you're like, damn, I just got rich in a month. Like, and then you're like
Yeah.
broke. Then the next month you're like, damn, I'm broke again. Like,
Yeah.
like, so you just got to see it through. You got to see it through, and you know, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. I mean, everything. What's meant to be is meant to be. If you're not meant to be doing that, then you just whatever you're doing is, or whatever place you're at in life is where you're supposed. I'm a big believer in that. You're where you're at right now, and timing is everything. You don't got to rush anything. Take your time. Work hard. Smart though. Work smarter, not harder.
We're gonna get a T-shirt made of just you going like this. Yeah. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean,
nothing to it but to do it, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Just grind it out. It's okay to cry.
Yeah.
Just wake up the next day and say, all right, F that. We're moving forward. What's next?
Forward, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely. One last question. What does your chain mean?
Foreign. That's my car rental biz. Foreign exotics.
Tough. Okay.
Foreign premium rentals.
Tough.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
So.
Go ahead and tell the people where to find you, what you got coming up, anything specifically, any last messages that you want to get out there, because you don't really talk. It's not like you have a platform where you talk to your audience a lot.
No, and I lack on social media too. I don't think I've posted on Instagram. Well, I post on my story, but I don't think I've posted on my feed in like 2 months. But I used to be heavy on it. But then once the businesses start automating, you don't need to,
True.
But yeah, my name's Chris Richmond, also known as Chris Handle Biz. You can find me on Instagram, Chris Handle Biz. If you need a car, a jet ski, a golf cart, whatever, hit me up. If you need your credit repaired, hit me up. If you need some Pokemon cards, hit me up. I got it all.
Keep going.
I do it all. I do it all. So.
Perfect. And any last like crazy, cool, fun stories, interesting stories? Because I mean, dude, you've like, even just from your Instagram pictures, like you've had some crazy moments with some
I don't even know what's on there because I
people.
archived like probably 200 posts. I don't even know what's on. I don't even know what's on there anymore. Yeah, I mean,
because you've experienced. Okay, but you have to think, Chris. You have to think here. You've experienced a lot of things that a lot of people have never experienced, will never experience in their whole entire lives. When it comes to just situations that, you've been able to be in, or people you've been able to be around, when it comes to even going to concerts and being backstage, or, being at music video shoots, like all those different, environments. A lot of people don't even have the opportunity to get into an environment like that. Do you have any memorable stories along the journey that you've really enjoyed and kind of keep close to you?
Yeah. All right. I just told this story, but I was in LA. So I was in LA, and this is a funny story. I need to tell more people. I haven't really told many people this story, but it's hilarious. I was in LA. We were at Rolling Loud rehearsal, and I was with a couple people, and K-Camp's Money Baby came on. Okay. One of my favorite songs from back in the day. Super motivating, talking about money, love money, whatever. I started just rapping every word, singing every word. Somebody FaceTimed K-Camp that was in the room and put the phone up to me, and I rapped the whole song to K-Camp, but I didn't know it was K-Camp.
No way.
I was just in the zone.
How do you do that?
And I was like, all right, bro, later. And then, like, they hung up, and they're like, you know who that was, right? And I was like, nah. They're like, that was K-Camp. And I was like, wait, hold up.
You're like, wait, call back.
I just sang K-Camp's entire song to him on FaceTime, like, did his whole verse and everything. So I got a lot of little weird, funny stories like that, but...
That's hilarious.
I could go on and on. When I worked with the Island Boys right when they went viral, like super viral.
No way.
We walked into the Jake Paul fight in Tampa, and we ended up on. People ended up, throwing things, and like we're all over House of Highlights, stuff like that. Yeah. Just little random stories like that, like. you know, yeah, I mean, I could probably go on forever, but yeah.
But like, do you understand that like these stories that you tell are not like normal experiences that everybody
Oh
gets
yeah,
to
for
experience?
sure.
Like
A lot of people tell me that. They're like, Chris, how do you get yourself into these situations? Chris, how are
Yeah.
you like, how are you with this person? Like, I don't know, I was with Tito Ortiz, like the famous UFC fighter, and
Yeah.
I had him like, I was like, take a picture with me, Tito. Like, I'm a little drunk at the time.
Yeah.
We were on the golf course together, but he ends up putting me in a chokehold, and I'm like literally choking. And someone took a picture of me like actually dying. And you know, people are just like, I posted, and everyone's like, Chris, just how are you with Tito Ortiz right now? Or you know, like, how are you backstage with Rod Wave, or like, you know, like things like that. But it's just networking and connecting and doing good business. Good business goes a long way. Building that bridge. I do a lot of favors for people. I like to help people because a lot of people help me coming up.
Right.
So I typically get myself in a position where people owe me favors now. And if I make a call, like, you know, they don't tell me no. So if I, or I'm good at bartering, you know, hey, here's how I can help you and you can help me. Like, let's make it happen, you know? So, but all in all, it's just building bridges, good relationships, and standing on that. Don't burn bridges. Because you never know where that relationship can take you, whether it's, you know, next month or in 10 years. But also sometimes, you know, relationships have to go bad for you to realize certain things, or maybe that person wasn't meant for you, or that deal wasn't meant for you. But you know, I just say, like, my connections and relationships are everything. I mean, a lot of people are at a phone call away for if I need something to accomplish something big.
No,
so.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is really interesting to be able to hear your whole story and everything.
Yeah,
and just
absolutely.
The story behind how you got to where you are, you know, and where you're going to keep going. So we're definitely going to be watching you, rooting for you always.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, definitely.
This was fun. I, talked more about my life than I have in a while, so that was exciting.
No, definitely. It's the first manager we've ever interviewed too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, first manager. Yeah, so super dope. Thank you so much again. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, turn on your post notifications. Do it all, baby. Might as well. You're here.
Yeah.
And we will and we will see you next time. Peace. Yeah.
Awesome.